For the purpose of learning the alphabet, to be able to learn to read and to recite. The children have formidable memory, and they are easily able to learn languages. Yeah.
Right.
Your children will probably already know Chinese and are already learning Russian.
Yeah,
Very quickly. Yeah. Very quickly. The children of diplomats benefit from the father's job. They learn the language of every country the father is posted to. Yeah. So Chinese and Russian will be two very valuable languages for your children when they grow up. But they must not forget it. They must not forget it. I used to teach Spanish. I was a teacher of Spanish, and now I've forgotten the language. Because I used to teach Spanish 70 years ago. 65 years ago. That's too long a period of time. I never used the language. So we have to emphasize in education in Islam. Education commences with the Quran, and education is built on the foundation of the Quran. And the most important thing of all, insofar as the child's relationship with the Quran is concerned, is that the child is not, we don't need to memorize. That's not so important.
Okay.
You need to be able to recite the Quran correctly.
Okay.
By the age of 7, you should be reciting the Quran.
Yes.
And by the age of 10, you should be completing the Quran every month. Khatam the Quran every month.
By the age of 10.
Once the child is built on that foundation, the education of the child is built on that foundation. By the age of 14, that child will be studying philosophy. By the age of 14, that child will be a versatile scholar because you built the foundation of the Quran.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. What do you mean recitation Quran? Only recitate the Quran without know the meaning?
No. You have to commence with reciting.
Okay.
But as you recite, there's also the parallel effort of teaching what the Quran is saying. That comes second because of Suratul Qiyamah. Because Allah says, فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنًا. When I have recited the Quran, you must follow that way of recitation, and only after that, only then does he say, ثُمَّ إِنَّ عَلَيْنَا بَيَانًا. We have a duty to now teach you the Quran, to explain the Quran. So the knowledge of the Quran comes subsequent to the recitation of the Quran. The child does not have to know the meaning of the Quran at the beginning.
Yes. Only recite.
Yeah, only reciting, learning to recite. And after that, the child will also be taught. You might begin, for example, with Qasasul Anbiya.
Okay. Since the age of what? 10, 11?
By the age of 4,
4.
I was teaching a class of children, and I had 2 children in my class who were age 4. And those 2 children were bright and intelligent at the age of 4, and could understand and enjoy the stories I was telling. I was telling them the stories, the Qasas of Anbiya. I conducted the class. The class continued for nearly 1 year. All those children are now married. All of them university graduates and so on. But at that time they were just 4, 5, 6, 8, 7, 10. Yeah. So the teaching of the Quran continues, the meaning of the Quran parallel with the recitation.
Okay.
But the priority attention is the recitation.
Okay.
Yeah. Different children have different capacity to understand.
Yes.
And would learn the meaning at different speed.
Yes.
Absorb the meaning at different speed. Maulana Fazlur Rahman Ansari rahimahullah was a prodigy. At the age of 7, he was already a hafiz of the Quran. Yeah. As a young man, he was already a scholar. So it depends upon the aptitude of the child to determine what speed he will travel in understanding the Quran. And the Quran will provide the foundation for education and for knowledge. Yeah, but the modern education system will destroy that.
Yeah, I understand your general.
Modern education system has taken the child away from the Quran. It's more important to learn the English language now.
Yeah. When we teach the Quran to our children, let's say from 4, 6, 8, 10, we have a different step for them to understand the Quran, say, as you said, yeah. This is only recitation, and then parallel with that, the meaning of the Quran. The meaning of the Quran itself, it means that learn the Arabic, say, correct?
The Qasasul Anbiya is what you teach first of all.
Okay, the story of the Anbiya, okay, then?
Qasasul Anbiya.
It is in English or in Arabic, you mean?
You teach the Qasasul Anbiya in the language that the child can understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever is the native language, you teach them in that native language. Qasasul Anbiya.
But gradually then, after that, they will learn Arabic at some point.
You have to learn the Arabic alphabet.
Yes, already.
To be able to recite.
Yes.
You will have to learn the meaning of the words to be able to understand what you're reciting.
That start when at the age?
That continues while the child is still 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Little by little.
You learn the alphabet to recite the Quran.
Yes.
And you gradually teach the meaning of the words so that the child will be able to have an elementary understanding of the text of the Quran. Elementary.
Okay.
But what will grip the attention of the child is the Qasasul Anbiya.
Story of the Anbiya.
And that you will teach them in their native language.
Okay, got it. So after 12, then we start to have more comprehensive understanding of the Quran.
At the age of 12, the child is ready for higher knowledge.
Okay.
From the age of 12 years, higher knowledge. The geography of the Quran.
Yeah.
The child could be able to be taught the geography of the Quran at the age of 12.
In the concept of Majmul Bahrain that you already mentioned, what do you think is the best for the children to add with this kind of intermixing knowledge between the external and also the internal?
That comes later.
Later, yeah. Okay.
That comes later. The child is not yet that spiritually developed.
Okay.
To be able to understand the difference between the external knowledge and the internal knowledge. In fact, the Quran says you don't reach maturity until you reach 40.
Okay.
And when the Quran uses the word 40, sometimes it is not literal. Sometimes, perhaps in this verse, it is literal, perhaps.
Okay.
age 40.
Uh-huh.
But other times it is not literal. It's a divine numerology
Mm-hmm.
in which the number 40 has a spiritual significance,
Okay.
not mathematical, a spiritual significance. 40.
How do we cope with the personal trait of children which
40 days after conception,
yeah,
the ruh is breathed
Yeah.
into the body.
yeah.
40 days after death,
Mm-hmm.
something happens.
Right.
40 days after death,
Mm-hmm.
something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And the Christians know it, the Jews know it, the Hindus know it, the Muslims, everybody has this conception
Yeah.
of something, an event taking place on the 40th day after death.
Okay.
But is this 40 a mathematical calculation
Right.
based on days?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this a mystical 40? And what is that happens on the 40th day? What is it? Is it that the questioning in the grave will be completed?
Mm.
And if the soul is to go to enjoy sleep, you'll be put to sleep on the 40th day. We don't know,
Okay. Okay then.
but something definitely
Okay.
is happening on the 40th day after death.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikh.